Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? I'm Dr. Liz Stincelli from All Things Leadership YouTube channel. And my guest today is a very special guest. I happen to know Dr. Liz Stincelli for a while now. We were coaches together. We went to a program together. So I've always been very, as a mentor when I was working on my doctorate. Dr. Liz, or just Liz, welcome to our channel.
Hey, thanks for having me, Horacio.
Oh, no, no problem, no problem. I really appreciate it. And Liz, just for everybody, she is a controller with the Jackson Group Peterbilt. So that's what she does. So Liz, today we're going to talk about culture, teams, work culture, a little bit of everything today. So I definitely want to, your perspective. And we chatted before in many of things. And I want to say thank you for always helping me, especially in my research. I really appreciate your time. I know I bothered you a couple of times, but I really, really appreciate it. So I have a couple of questions for you, and I would definitely like to get your perspective on it. And the first one is, how can work culture drive real personal growth from your perspective and from your organization?
So it's been my experience that a lot of organizations approach personal development as we will support your personal development as long as you can prove to me that it ties directly to your job tasks. In my opinion, we're doing a disservice to the organization and to the employees because anything anything that an employee does to improve themselves personally benefits the organization, even if it's not directly related to their tasks. So I try to be a little bit more open of I want to support my employees in developing themselves in the things that really interest them and that they're passionate about. Yes, it does have to be in the realm of business,
Hmm.
but if they don't use Excel, but they want to do some Excel training, I am behind that 100%. If they want to do some, you know, crucial conversation training, I'm behind that 100% in resolving conflict and whatever they have interest in. And I try to provide my employees, they're allotted 1 hour a week to do some personal development on work time.
Hmm.
I try to provide them whatever tools that I can give them, but this, the the biggest benefit of this is it fosters kind of some autonomy and some trust that they know I'm giving them some leeway because I know that what they're doing is now going to not only benefit them, but benefit the company.
Hmm.
I think we need to tie their tasks into the value in their tasks into the company as a whole. I think we tend to, here's the company goals, here's the team goals, and you play this little teeny tiny role. I think we need to integrate those a lot better. We need to communicate those, the value and how their role plays into that. I also believe that we need to be better about our transparency as an organization and as a team. I think companies right now hold a lot of information close to the vest. I think that we expect our employees to really contribute to the company's overall mission, yet we want to keep so much
Yeah.
from them that they like bring them into the fold kind of. We need to show that we trust them and we value them and we trust that they will actually find ways to contribute to that without me having to identify, hey, this is what I want you to do to contribute. This is what I want you to do to contribute. I'm only one person. I can't look at every single aspect. I don't know every little thing that these people have to offer. So by bringing them in and letting them
Hmm.
understand what the goal is, we we really, really are fostering an environment where people want to grow and they want to contribute.
Hmm. No, I'm with you. And I like how you said it, you mentioned transparency. There's a lot of organizations today, even within the people that I work with, the people that I've interact with, and the people that are part of my clientele. When I mention transparency, they're like, it you keeping something, it's almost like you don't want to be the last person holding the secret, right? So when you're not being transparent, there's going to always be that gap between your staff and yourself and the organization. Like, I don't really don't understand. I try to explain a lot of transparency when it comes to like when I was in the military. They were very transparent. This is what we're doing. This is our mission. This is our goals. That's how we're going to get there. This can be a timeline. So, and we all knew exactly what needed to get done. Now, bringing that into the private sector when it comes down to like personal growth, organizations today, and I do a lot of research as far as like numbers and percentages on professional development for organizations. And about 64% of organizations that were done in this survey out of like I think it was like about 2,000 organizations, they all said that they spend very little time on their professional development, which means that their growth is very stagnant, which leads to, well, I'm going to quit. So a lot of high turnover. So I always explain when there's a high turnover, you're going to spend more money dollar-wise on the onboarding. So talking to some comptrollers here in the state of Texas, they were giving some astonishing numbers on how much it costs to bring a person. Person leaves, great. Have a great day. Thank you for your service, whatever the case may be. But to bring somebody in to do your role that you've been doing for, say, 5, 6 years, it's close in the 25, I think it's 25 to 30,000 per individual.
It is, and I think when you talk to organizations about the importance of personal development, they look at it as, oh, we have to provide programs for our employees. We have to figure out this and this and this and put them through these trainings. That doesn't have to be the case.
Yeah,
Employees are very good. There are so many resources out there that for very little or no cost that your employees, they're good at figuring out what they need and where they want to grow.
yeah,
You don't have to have this big program. Okay, we're going to put everybody through this and we're going to put everybody through that. That that used to be the case. That is not the case anymore.
hmm
Allow your employees, give them, some parameters and allow them to figure out what they want to do, how they want to grow, and they can go out and find some resources.
hmm
It's very easy to find, they can look for resources, they can bring them to you. You can look at them and say, yes, I'm in full support of this. Again, I'll give you an hour a week of paid time that you can work on this.
hmm
And you'll be surprised. Like, it really motivates them to want to contribute and be part of the team because now you're showing that you value them and you're not dictating to them, this is what you need. Oh, I think you need this. I think you need that. No, you tell me
What you need.
where you, yeah, what you want to do. And again, any way that a person improves themselves is going to improve their job performance regardless. It
Yeah.
makes them a better, a well-rounded employee.
Individual, yeah. I like the fact where as a leader in an organization, you're saying, well, you need to accomplish X number of trainings per quarter because now it's like I'm not forced to instead of
Yeah.
like, hey, I don't like how and I appreciate how you said it, Liz. That 1 hour a week, man, perfect, man. They're giving me time for me. So if they feel that they've been validated and they feel they've been appreciated, they're gonna work better for you. They're gonna go out of their way to say, hey, I need to bust my butt for this organization, for this person, because that person cares about me. And that's huge.
Well, and I don't say, now you have to prove to me what you've done for this hour.
Yeah.
You need to prove this. I'm showing that I trust them. I trust that they're going to
Mhm.
do something really beneficial to them in that hour. If they waste it, eventually, my
Mhm.
light just turned off. I'm sorry. Eventually, it's motion censored.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm going to know because I'm going to see that they're not a very good, productive, dedicated employee. So eventually that will come to light without me having to babysit that little portion of their
Yeah.
their work.
We're not babysitting adults, right?
Nope, 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 nope. We do not babysit
No, I
adults.
got you. I got you. I appreciate it, Liz. So, let me ask this: with this whole AI, happening now, and uh, it seems like a lot of requests have come to my way of like, hey, can you kind of teach me on how I can adapt as a leader, with AI? And I'm like, you have to be able to totally different topic. But let me ask you this question: how will leaders keep workplace humane as AI grows? So, as AI is growing, what does that do for the workplace, and how is it for leadership from your perspective?
So this takes transparency to a whole nother level. AI is going to make employees feel a little bit insecure. They're not going to know where they stand. So being very transparent is going to be important. They need to trust that you are being honest with them. It's also going to take leaders educating themselves on how is AI supplemental to what our employees do? How does it take their work to the next level? Um, AI is not going to replace human creativity. It's not going to be, you know, it will enhance our ability to get work done, but employees need to understand what their role is in this new kind of scheme of things.
Yeah.
So it's being transparent, it's open communication. Leaders are also going to have to kind of model, you know,
Mhm.
being able to adapt quickly,
Yeah.
adopt new things, and they need to model that for their employees and then support their employees in that.
Yeah. A lot of leaders, from my discussions that I've had, like in the past, especially the past year, talking about, I kind of incorporate a lot of AI into my trainings. AI is not here to replace the bad boss. Okay. AI is not here to make you a superb manager. You know, Using any kind of AI for the advancement of any kind of programs, it's to each his own. As organizations are differently, leadership feels that, well, AI is going to replace my job, and it's like, actually it's not. And I like how you said it. That kind of makes there's a lot of insecurity. It provides a sense of insecurity towards your team, like, shh, do I have a job tomorrow? But I believe, and based on the my readings and research and everything, if you just kind of educate yourself on the true purpose of what AI can do and then apply it to what you do, it's it's not going to replace me as a coach because, can it? Of course it can. I mean, I'm pretty sure it can replace any single thing, right? But AI doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't have guilt. It doesn't have emotion. It doesn't have like, oh, I don't know if it's too good to be true, that human instinct. And I know that, and it's it's more than that. So for me, I've always been very in talking to people when they ask me those questions, especially in a leadership perspective. I'm like, if you can understand it, and how can I use this to make my team better? How can it assist in making my team better? Can this thing help my team think quicker, faster, get more research, get more numbers? Great. But I
Oh,
get to think about it, it's not because a bad thing, even though there's articles out there about it, oh, it's all bad, 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 but it's not really that place. I think you have to take that mature, logic, realistic perspective on it. So I'm with you.
and I agree with you. I think that it's going to require us maybe leaders changing the focus from kind of control to outcome focused. I think that um, we're going to have to start prioritizing kind of results and collaboration over hours, hours worked. I think AI is a great tool to reduce some of the small stuff. You need to write a letter. How much time do you need to spend writing that letter? I mean, you can plug a couple things into AI and pretty much have it in seconds.
Yeah.
So it's it gives us the opportunity to enhance our productivity, but I think it may eventually have an impact on you may have to be more outcome focused with your employees than saying, I need you at your desk from this time to this time. Let's start thinking a little bit outside the box and how can this benefit everyone?
Exactly. No, I'm with you. I think there's pros and cons to
Yep.
that. I think it's just how you perceive it and how you're going to use it. So I know towards the very end of my research when I was working on my doctorate, we had a whole session with the university. They were like, "Hey, just let you know that there's programs." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Well, now that I'm in the professor reversal here, it's like, oh, whoa, okay. So I want to make sure my chair was very hands-on with me when it came into that. So uh, people have used it for not so ethical. Well, I guess we use the word ethical, for ethical reasons. So, but no, I appreciated you saying that. So let me ask you this: how do companies build belonging in a hybrid teams? Now that yeah, we gotta come back to the office, but some don't. I've always been remote or here and there. So what are your thoughts on building belonging?
With with this, first of all, across all of these questions you've asked me, trust and transparency are two of the top things. In a hybrid team, your team members have to really, really, really learn to trust each other. They are not seeing each other face to face on a daily basis like they would in a regular office environment. It is a little bit harder to build that trust because it's almost like this, you know, faceless name out there.
Yeah,
You have to make sure you have touch points where people are interacting through Zoom meetings or Teams or, on phone calls. It can't just be all emails or instant messages. It takes the human aspect out of it a little bit.
yeah,
You tend to forget almost that it's a person on the other side of that. So you have to make sure your teams are getting together, whether you have, you know, once a week or once every few weeks, a team Zoom meeting where everyone's on. Everyone needs to contribute. It can't be you have one person, they show up, but they're just sit there for the entire meeting. Maybe you take turns rotating who's going to kind of drive the meeting and be in charge of the meeting. So everyone gets used to interacting with each other and you have to keep
yeah.
that human aspect of it alive, or again, you're going to lose that.
Mhm.
It's kind of like losing that trust because you forget there's a human out there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate saying trust and transparency because it was my previous employment. I was by myself and with like 20 some odd counties, so it's just me, right? But we had checkpoints in place. Every Wednesdays from 12 to like 3, we had meetings. And then we all got together the following weekend. The following week, the whole district, so all 28 of us together, right? So, and then, oh, by the way, you're doing training on this day. So it was always, ensuring that, because, well, there's always a bad side to that too as well. People can be like, yeah, that's what it is, man. I'm just gonna put something here. But I was having a discussion with the superintendent not long ago. And he straight up told me, Lance, which is pretty pretty crazy. He said, "Oh, if that little dot on their teams is red, I call them. Where you at?" And I'm like, "Whoa." I mean, that's almost tiptoe borderline
Like
micromanaging, but having that mindset, that just means you don't trust your
that's
right? Kind of makes sense. Like
yeah.
you said it right now, because I like, you've been talking about trust transparency since we started this conversation. And the guy's like, oh no. And I sent my team's message, hey, why is your, thing red on Teams? But that leads to other things. I mean, I'm a firm believer of that.
Again, like you said, like we do not babysit adults. Eventually, it is going to show up in their work, and you're going to know that they are not. And then you will, hey, maybe this isn't a good fit. You're not a good fit for this team.
Yep.
So get, I, you have to give them that leeway,
Yeah.
and then you will deal with it later. I also think it's important to, you know, try to get to know each other a little bit on a personal basis. So maybe once a month when you have a meeting, you do a little activity virtually where you get to know each other a little bit. Because if you're in the office, you do get to know each other. You know, you have a little bit of,
Mm,
water cooler talks, a little bit of conversations here and there. You're missing that if you're not in the office.
yeah.
And I think to have a good cohesive team, you need to see that person, on a very personal level.
Yeah, I think we
So,
or hybrid you are, the more remote you are, the least like, and then you meet together like once a year. Like, who are you? I've been talking to you like the past year.
yeah, and some people think, no, I just want to be left alone. I just want to do my thing. That's not
Yeah,
ever going to lead to good team cohesion.
yeah, and that's not good for your growth. That's for you.
Yeah,
Growth. It's
yeah.
but no, I get you. Well, Liz, I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much for joining us in our channel today, and it was a pleasure hearing everything you said today. So very inspiring. But I really appreciate your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been fun, Horacio.
No, we definitely appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it, Liz.
Anytime.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching this video today. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe for more just like this. You can catch Liz's conversation with me later on today on LinkedIn. We appreciate everybody's time and everybody have a great day.